Hey everybody, PezMarized here. Let's take a little tour of chicken egg release dates. Um, so if you've seen some of the videos on my channel, you know I like the chicken egg dispensers. There's a wide variety of them to collect. Another thing I like to know is when dispensers were first released by Pez. Pez is a private company. They didn't do a great job, especially in the early days, the 50s, 60s, 70s, of keeping track of exactly when different dispensers got released. And so over the years, collectors have had to sort of piece things back together to figure out some of that information. Although these days on the US Pez website, there's a cool feature they've got now. If you click on the collect menu, there's a history and dispenser archive link. And there you can go year by year and see what year Pez released most of the dispensers they have listed there. And for the most part, the vast majority of the years that they list seem pretty accurate, certainly within a year or two. But there's a few dispensers in that archive that seem a little questionable. It's a little problematic then, because if there's some that seem pretty wrong, then how do you know which ones are right and which ones are accurate and which ones are way off? But some of the worst ones, as far as being off by many years, seems to be the chicken egg dispensers. So anyway, let me go through the years Pez says these things came out, and then I'll present some evidence on why I think they're way off, and then you can make your own judgment and let me know how crazy I am. We already know I'm crazy because I'm collecting kids' candy toy dispensers, but you can tell me why else I'm crazy, I guess. So anyway, let's go through it. So their dispenser archive, and I guess I will also say the Pez price guide, the one from John. The original collector's price guide to Pez. This also has the years in it for the different dispensers it lists. The year of first issue. I think John just takes those dates directly off the Pez website. Although I guess I don't really know who copies who, but they tend to match up exactly so that the years that are listed on the Pez website are the same years that are listed in that price guide. So anyway. All right, so the first chicken egg comes out probably 1970, way back when. They're found on DBP stems, which are some of the very oldest stems. They have no hats. They've got, no peg for a hat. They've got the full little feathered head. And those are called the chicken egg without hat. And Pez says they're first released in 1970, and I don't have any strong evidence to think otherwise. I certainly wouldn't argue if somebody found some evidence to say these were released a little earlier in 68 or 69 or something like that, but 70 seems pretty close. All right, then the next year that they have a chicken egg on the Pez website is going to be 1976. They say chicken egg with hat, and collectors, when we get different variations of molds of the same character, they tend to then give them a distinction by calling them A, B, C, D, those kind of things. So this is the first one with hat, and in the price guide, they're categorized as chicken egg with hat A. So Pez.com says those come out in 1976. So that one I'm a little skeptical of, but let's just go through everything they say here, and then we'll get back to things. All right, so the next chicken egg in their history timeline, they call it chick in shell, and it's a picture of this red one with feet, and it's certainly a soft shell chick. So the previous ones are all going to be hard shells. This shell is pretty pliable, and you can kind of squish on it, and it's a softer plastic. Some people call this the soft shell chick, but some people call it chicken egg with hat B. So it's kind of the second major revision of the chicken egg, because the shell's different material and it's different point patterns, whereas the older ones are going to be hard and have a different point pattern to them. And Pez.com seems to indicate this chicken shell thing came out in 1992, which right away you should be a little skeptical because you got the red and green ones. They certainly come on feet, but the same mold and the same basic, dispenser. This also, purple and blue ones also have these pliable soft shells with the same pattern points. These are no-footed dispensers, so that should sort of clue things in that, well, probably not 1992, because everything after 1987 in the US pretty much came with feet on them. And the red and the green ones, you can find them without feet as well. They come on the same basic stems that the blue and the purple one that I've got here. I just don't happen to have them in my collection. So 92, that seems pretty far off. So that's the main one I think we'll want to focus on. But let's finish up through the chicken eggs. All right, the next one Pez.com has is 95 for this. They go back to the hard plastic shell and they make a very regular point pattern, very pointy. 95, that seems about right. We started collecting in mid-90s, 96, 97, 98. And this was out in the stores, certainly. And by 99, we were collecting quite a bit. Then this revision came out where they, I guess, maybe the points were a little too dangerous, so they rounded them off. And same basic dispenser, but yeah, 99 seemed about right. And then chicken egg finished up. Last version that we've had is 2004. They had a pretty significant different revision. Gave him a baby bonnet instead of a hat. But so 2004, I agree with. 99, yep. 95 sounds pretty good. 92, though, I don't think that's right at all. In fact, let me make my adjustments on where I'm going to put these things. So let's move those guys over a little bit there. Let's move these guys over here. Let's bring in a date I think they actually came out in. And then let's move these guys over here. See if we keep them all from knocking down. I think those guys came out around then. And this one might be the 92 one. Okay, so this is the order I think. Sure, we'll stick with 1970 for these guys, although could they have come out a little earlier? Maybe. But 1971 and 1972, there's a couple of ad sheets, sales sheets, says, "Welcome to the new Easter parade," or something along those lines. And it's clearly marked, those two ad sheets, one is 71, one is 72. And the 1971 version has chicken egg with some prototype hats on it. And they look sort of like really tall, goofy hats. And Goofy had a bunch of different versions of hats. So it certainly might have been they just stuck goofy hats on them at the time. But maybe they weren't really done with the chicken egg with hat mold for the photo shoot in 71. Maybe they didn't come out in 71. Maybe they were planning on it and they didn't get them ready enough. But certainly by 72, that ad sheet shows these dispensers with these hats and the red hats. So seemingly by 1972, I think the chicken egg with hat was probably out on the market for Easter time. And that would leave the chicken egg without hat probably only selling by itself for a year or two, which is partly maybe the reason that they're significantly more harder to find and valuable than the ones with the hats. But who knows on exactly there. But I'm pretty sure, given the ad sheet, chicken egg with hat probably came out 72. Certainly by 73. There's also a 73 ad sheet that shows them. So yeah, 76 I think is too late for those guys. So what I think was 76 that maybe has confused people was maybe there was an announcement for a new chicken egg in 76, but I think it was these guys. I think it was the soft shell chick, or the chicken egg with hat B. Comes out in 1976. And the strong evidence for that is this guy right here. He's on a no-footed stem, and he's going to be on, let's see, a no patent stem as well. So he's just made in Austria. There's no patent here. He's a single leaf spring in there. And this stem, and you can find a lot of chicken eggs on this stem. It is not like we think this is swapped or anything. You can also find the purple ones on this type of a stem. I'm pretty sure the red and the green as well. And this one's on a 3.9. He does have the patent. But the ones without the patent are pretty well known to be around a transitional stem between the 3.4 and the 3.9s. And they are also found on the bicentennial dispensers commonly. And the bicentennial dispensers were released 1975 to 76. So if they're on the same stem as the chicken egg with hat with the soft shell, this guy was probably almost certainly released in 75 or 76. We'll give Pez the benefit of the doubt that if there was some sort of announcement for new chicken eggs in 76, this is probably it. But certainly 1992, no. The soft shell chick was out for at least, 16 years ahead of 1992. So that's probably the furthest off I've ever seen any dates listed on that Pez history dispenser archive. But what I think maybe was released in 1992, or certainly 91, 92, was this revision over here of the soft shell chick, where they revised the post that the soft shell clips into. Here you can see the red version has a very shallow post, and I think it's pretty easy to pull the soft shell off of there. And so maybe in 92, they were worried about small parts more, kids breaking the dispensers apart and choking on them. So they revised it to make this long protruding post. So that's in the price guide as the protruding post version. It's not a full different mold version because it's a small variation of the mold, but it's still chicken egg bait. But I'm guessing that maybe if there was some sort of change in 92 that was announcing a new chicken egg, it was just this subtle post variation. So maybe that's the confusion going on. And then from there, sure, 95, they get rid of the soft shell chick. 99, they revised the shell just a little bit softer and rounder. And yeah, 2004, the last version. So I don't know, that's my timeline. Yeah, maybe you have better information. Maybe you disagree completely. I would love to hear it or see any different evidence that you've got. Do you think the Pez.com website dates are actually the right ones and I've just misunderstood everything? Maybe it's happened. So, but I guess it doesn't matter either way. Just get out there and collect some Pez.